When George retracted the grabbers, he saw the crabs run away. And then he saw something else.
Something's wrong. Hey, Pizza, bring him back fast.
Wait, what is it, George? Did you find it? Did you get it, George? Yes! All right, George. Good job. George.
That was a part of Wales. You okay?
He lost it. Steer him after it.
I can't. I lost the camera. I lost power. I have no control.
You mean...
We have to let the monkey drive the submarine. George, you have to pilot the ship. Use the control stick on the dash.
George figured out how to steer quickly and bumpily. Now that he had control, George took command. Because a monkey always gets his bleeping thing.
Sounds like he's getting warmer. He's chasing it.
Of course. George doesn't know the meaning of give up. Or dental floss.
The light went out, the bleeping stopped.
Oh. George, I'm afraid that means the battery died. You'll never find it in the darkness.
George was disappointed he couldn't find the gift. He went so deep, there was nothing down there at all. Nothing? There was lots down here living in the dark. And the fish were completely different from the ones he saw closer to the surface.
I'm going down, 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 where the fish go to school and the plants are so cool. I'm going down, 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 where the turtles can fly, and I'm wishing that you could be underneath the waves with me.
There were other lit-up fish, too. They were swimming around something. The recorder. George didn't know if they were just curious about that thing or helping him. But he couldn't have found it without the help of his glowing fish friends.
There he is, and he's got it. All right.
I put a new battery in. All the information was saved. We asked the right monkey for help. Thought you might like a copy of the last thing it recorded.
It's always nice to have pictures of your friends. And how many friends can light themselves for a perfect picture every time? George felt awful. He'd kept the man up again.
Okay, George, I'm going on my run. Maybe after a cup of tea.
If only he had some way to quietly find the kitchen in the dark. He couldn't see or hear his way. Maybe George could taste his way.
George, don't eat off the floor. Use a sponge.
Okay, so he couldn't use taste. What other senses were there?
Want some honey in your oatmeal?
Maybe touch. If George felt honey with his feet, he'd know he was going the wrong way. He was so excited about his path, he could hardly wait until he couldn't fall asleep to try it out. The honey was working. He was finding his way by touch. Trouble is, once you step in honey, it sticks to your feet. And before you know it, it feels like it's everywhere.
George, what are you doing? Oh. Ooh.
George needed to feel his way with something less messy. Maybe something soft.
We're going for a ride, George.
George's soft path had to work.
What?
Because the man's race was tomorrow, and he needed to get some sleep.
Oh, I'm okay.
George's stuffed animals would tell him where the furniture was, but he needed more soft things to lead him to the kitchen. George sure hoped his path worked.
Sorry, so late. I kept falling asleep. Big race tomorrow. Gotta go to bed early. Right after supper.
George didn't even have to wait until bedtime to try his soft path out. He did it. He'd made it to the kitchen, and he didn't wake the man. In fact, he used his path many, many, many times. Because he was so excited about the man's race tomorrow, he was the one who couldn't sleep. The next morning, George was there to cheer on the man as he swam. And rode. And ran his way to the finish line.
Oh, did you see that, George?
But George missed the finish. All that walking around made a monkey very sleepy.
Remember, George? We almost lost all the bones here. delivery guy took the wrong box. Whew, still 4 bones. We know that we went to the restaurant after we left here, but did we go straight to the restaurant? Or did we go to the lake first? Wait, is that a noodle on your cheek? Oh, George, how many times have we practiced wiping your mouth after eating soup? After eating soup! You had soup before we went to the park. That means we went to Paschetti's, then the park. We figured out our path. We left home, bought fruit, ate soup, I fell in the lake, museum. The box is bulging. We still had all 4 bones in the park. So the bone has to be between the lake and the museum.
Oh, this looks bad. Bad, bad, bad. Is there any chance they'll find that bone before 5?
But it must be here if we went right from the park to the museum.
The pictures had to be in the right order. Didn't they?
Yes, I'm drippy because I fell in the lake. What is it? I'm wet? Then we deliver it and... I'm dry. That's right. I forgot. We went home again.
The lobby wasn't just the first step on their path. It was also the next to last step.
So we left home, bought fruit, ate soup, I fell in the lake, went home again to get dry, museum.
Sure, I remember. You left the box in the lobby while you changed. Then your friend took that picture as you left in the dry clothes.
George noticed something else. What was that white blur?
George, please, wait a second. If I explain, maybe he can help find the bone. The bone! Hunley, where did you find that?
Huntley knew exactly where he found it.
Why don't you take a break? There's a surprise for you on the chair.
Hurry! We have 1 minute to get to the museum.
Oh, this is going to be so embarrassing. Ladies and gentlemen, I know what you're all hoping for.
Okay, it's done. Let's go. No! Oh! George, I'm stuck.
I apologize for what you are about to see.
Look! The oldest complete ankylosaurus, over there!
How can I ever thank you for keeping this from being embarrassing?
Primeiro ele colou as partes do coração. Depois começou a carimbar. O cartão ficou ótimo, mas preparar o carimbo demorou muito. O dia dos amigos acabaria logo. Ele precisava dar um jeito de carimbar muitos cartões bem rápido. George apostava que poderia carimbar super rápido em um pula-pula. Mas o carimbo de pula-pula fazia muita bagunça. E era difícil de controlar.
Bom trabalho, George. Tudo bem. Eu vou entregar o resto dos cartões do Dia dos Amigos. Você quer vir comigo? Tá legal. Eu não vou demorar. Seja um macaco bonzinho no Dia dos Amigos.
Toda aquela limpeza demorou demais. Como terminaria os cartões? E ele ainda não tinha uma maneira rápida de carimbá-los. Talvez tivesse um carimbador rápido no armário. Nada de carimbador ali. Ou talvez tivesse. O triciclo carimbador seria muito melhor do que o carimbo de pula-pula. O triciclo carimbador passava por onde você guiasse. Mas o triciclo carimbador esmagou os cartões. E depois os comeu. Fez a maior bagunça no carpete também. O Dia dos Amigos estava quase acabando. George tinha menos tempo do que antes. Ainda restavam 3 cartões para dar aos seus amigos. Que bom que a máquina de waffle estava desligada. Mas um dos cartões estava arruinado. Só que ele poderia fazer um novo no seu super rápido carimbador. Ele só precisava substituir as formas de waffles por formas de corações. Ele tinha que andar logo para aprontar os cartões a tempo. Os cartões estavam ótimos, mas precisavam de um toque pessoal.
Nossa, que dia corrido! Que legal! Foi você que fez, George? Ficou o máximo! Você quer ser meu amigo?
Meu amigo,
Meu grande amigo!
meu grande amigo,
É meu amigo!
é meu amigo.
E está sempre comigo!
Now it's really ruined.
George had an idea. He'd broken a few things before, too.
George? George! George!
Okay, he'd broken lots of things, and that's why he had lots of art supplies at home.
It's kind of close, George, but it has to look the same as the old nose.
Why?
It's important. It's a tradition.
George remembered the old nose had red and gold stripes, and it was curvy. He didn't have anything like that, so he'd have to make the new nose. Out of red and gold yarn.
Good try, George, but that nose is a little too droopy.
The trick was to find the right material. Felt wouldn't do the job, and neither would ribbon.
Pipe cleaners, great idea, George. They're strong and bendy. Perfect. But the rest of the dragon head is covered in red cloth. We need red cloth to cover the new nose.
And fast.
The napkins were perfect. And a little while later, the nose was as good as new.
The dragon looks wonderful. But it's too late. The parade has already started.
Wait, you said the parade ends with the dragon dance.
Yeah, but it's so late, I'm not even sure we can make it before it ends.
Are you kidding? We'll take a shortcut through the park. With all the practice we've had, we're dragon masters now.
Okay, let's try.
So they were like a dragon.
It's nice and wide open here. Nothing to watch out for.
They kept their eyes forward.
Tree!
They stayed in a line. And kept an even distance.
It's that dog again! Run! Be like a
Excuse me? Rex? Thank goodness. That dragon could have hurt my little baby. By the time they reached the other end of the park, the three were dragon masters.
We did it! Great dragoning, guys. You're an awesome tummy and tail.
Gracias.
Where did she go?
Hey, Dad!
Lily, where have you been? Never mind, I have some bad news. Your cousins are still stuck in traffic. There's no one to help you be the dragon. I'm sorry.
Hang on, I know a couple of experts.
And that's how, with a little practice and the right materials, a monkey became a dragon. Jumpy's Nest was a hole filled with sticks, leaves, and feathers. High up in a tree.
C'est magnifique. My first accordion!
Ducks swam in water, even in winter. And they slept in nests of straw. Deer slept hidden under many trees on a soft bed. Now George knew what he needed to make his sleepover a success. George had made a perfect space for each friend. Now they just needed to come back inside. Success! George's friends loved it. Jumpy nested in his clock. Dumpling perched in her nest. And Dottie slept on her soft, foresty bed. But George was still missing one thing. Everyone slept well. The next morning, George made sure everyone had the perfect breakfast.
What on earth? George!
George, the mission?
So George got back to work. He hoped to see the little seal again afterwards.
He's on his way.
fish. George had found his first whale, and it was white. A beluga whale. Could there be more? Number 2 was a bowhead. George could tell by its dark coloring. 1 beluga and 1 bowhead. George had already counted 2 whales.
Wow, great job, George.
7 belugas and 5 bowheads.
No narwhals yet. They can dive deeper than the others. Why don't you try going lower, George?
George wondered what was making that strange sound. This whale had a tusk, a narwhal. In fact, a whole pod of them. George knew he'd better count fast. 3 over there, and that one made 4. This one made 5. And all those made... George wasn't going to let anything stop him from counting the rest. Except maybe an iceberg.
George, are you okay?
I think he hit something. An iceberg, maybe? Perhaps.
George, I think it's time to head back. We'll help you find your way. Whoa, what happened?
The communication systems must have been damaged.
George thought he was heading home, but it was hard to tell. George didn't know this whale because it was a seal. His friend had found him. And he seemed to be leading George somewhere.
Oh my! I finally caught one!
Oh! George!
You made it! You're okay!
Tremendous work! You saved the mission, George!
Hey, my fish!
But George figured the seal deserved it. After all, he'd led George home.
Oh, well, there are plenty more fish where that came from. Right, George?
George could see Jumpy was right. These nuts were different.
Whoa, 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 George. People don't eat acorns. Well, not usually. We prefer other nuts. You know, walnuts, almonds, pecans, cashews, what have you.
If people didn't like acorns, an animal must have taken Jumpy's acorns. But which one? Deer, turkey, crow, bear, pig, squirrel, raccoon. All these animals ate acorns. This needed more research. George had never seen him before. He carried nuts in his cheeks, just like Jumpy. George thought he'd find the acorns if he followed that little guy. And Jumpy thought he'd find them if he followed George. The thing also ate flower bulbs and seeds. The little guy stored food for winter, just like Jumpy did. At last, Jumpy had surely found where the monkey stashed the nuts. It wasn't the monkey after all. Jumpy wanted to give that squirt a piece of his mind. But that squirt was kinda cute. And generous. Jumpy didn't like him taking his acorns. But anyone could see he was a good kid. He just needed someone to show him the ropes. Someone with experience. Someone like Jumpy.
I see you've made a new friend. Chipmunks are cute, aren't they?
A chipmunk? So that's what that was.
My pecan pie!
That may be the beginning of a beautiful friendship.
Oh.
Hassan must have sent us on the scenic route. Ready to see a lot of fish? Here we go!
Take a trip, see somewhere new. Learn about what others like to do.
There really were a lot of fish. There was one that could blow itself up like a balloon. And one that looked like a circus clown. And who knew that glassfish had bones?
Let's learn about the wonders of the world.
Wow, that was fun! Better head back if we want to get to the village before dark. Must be out of gas. No problem. Just need to refill it. Your beach ball. That's right. Here you go. Huh? George, did you take the extra gas can out to make room for the beach ball? And the flashlight? And the flares? Well, I guess we'll have something to play with. Until someone finds us. Catch, George! Oh, I got it! Oh, good catch. What the? George, what are you? Well, look who's here. It's your buddies, the dolphins. Wow, it's the dolphins. They're stirring up the bioluminescent plankton. They're tiny, tiny sea creatures, millions of them. They give off a glow when they're moved. George, you hear that? It's a rescue plane!
I am happy to see you, my friends. How did you ever come up with the plan to get the dolphins to light up the water like that?
Actually, we were playing catch. George, that was amazing. I'm glad you packed that ball.
Let's learn about the wonders of the world.
Has anyone seen my mug?
This was becoming very mysterious.
Not again. Why does everything keep disappearing?
Maybe you simply left it in the other room. Let's look.
Come on, George. Let's see the rest of the lab.
Someone had taken the kitten mug, the shell, and the shoe. He didn't know who did it, but he had a pretty good idea what they looked like.
Look at that shell.
It was a shell, all right. But it wasn't George's.
That's a loggerhead sea turtle.
She's injured, so we're taking care of her until she heals.
George wondered, could the sea turtle be the one taking things?
Those flippers make them very fast in the water, but on land, they're quite slow.
If the turtle was slow on land, it probably didn't steal George's shell. Still, it was worth a look.
Maybe it's time we clean the turtle enclosure.
And if you're up for it, we could use 2 extra hands.
Ha! He's right. 4 extra hands.
Oh, I'll help, even though I only have 2 hands.
Every hand helps. We'll need some sponges and a bucket.
Luckily, George had brought his own bucket. Where was it? George couldn't believe it. Someone had stolen the octopus, too. His bucket. What was it doing over there?
What is it, George?
Wow. You did it! You solved the mystery, George.
So this is where everything went.
But how did the octopus get those things into the water?
Octopuses live in the water, but they can venture onto land for short periods of time.
Yeah, why did Octavia take all these things?
Well, in nature, octopuses collect things like shells and coconut husks to use for protection near their dens.
Like my shoe.
And my coffee mug.
And your shell, exactly. The collection is called an Octopuss Garden.
Good. Guess we'll need to secure this lid so she doesn't keep getting out.
George liked his shell, but he knew someone who liked it even more.
It looks like that's how an octopus says thank you, George.
That was very generous of you, George.
You can come back and visit Octavia and your shell anytime.
George thought that any seashell that got to be part of an octopus's garden was one lucky shell.
Well, will you look at this? Boat race, bucket toss, water slide. You've got everything you need.
The dunk booth? Actually, I think I can help you there.
Got it after the fair closed down. Yeah.
Mind if we borrow it?
Well, only if you invite me to your fair.
Wow! That's the most wonderfulest dunk booth I've never ever seen.
I think I know where your problem lies, George. Yep, thought so. It's your hinge, all right. Rusted stiff. Hinges are very important. They're what let things open and close. Like the ones on this door. Hinges even help you get around. Like your knees and your elbows, even your fingers. All hinge joints.
But fingers won't help with a dunk booth. We need a real hinge.
Good work, George. Lucky you found a hinge.
Guess what I brought? It's a dunk booth? I'm going in! This is it. Okay, George, have at it. Don't worry, try again. You can do it.
Dunk him! Dunk him!
Hit the target, George!
Come on, George!
Holy cow! The pigs!
Little Mike, stop eating the fair! Where's little Mike?
Whoa, look! I hear you're having a fair.
You don't mind if we pitch in with a little music?
George, you guys, remember me? Watch and learn, Mrs. Rankins, because if you got it, you got it. Just warming up.
Concentrate now, George. Eye on the target.
Come on, George, you can do it! George! Thank you! Oh, Mike, this is great!
Nice arm for a city kid, George.
Stand back! My turn! I want to dunk Mr. Yellow Trunks. Both sides have 1 point!
We did it! We tied! Yippee! Yahoo! Yahoo for us.
final event is Midnight Alarm. It's a humdinger. Whoever wins the muster. This game tests each team's response to a surprise nighttime emergency. When the alarm sounds, each team must put on their gear, attach their hose to their truck, and run it all the way to the other side of that hill and shoot it off.
Oh, yeah. We're gonna win.
Yellow team's got this one.
Okay. Night, everyone.
Get up! There's an emergency!
All right, let's do this.
I'm ready.
That's a new way to do it.
Nice shortcut, George. Yellow ready. Turn on the hose now, hurry. Turn it on.
Red ready.
Red team wins.
All right.
Ah, so close. So darn close.
Congratulations, Stig.
Hang tight, boy. We're gonna need a long ladder.
It's too short. We should get our ladder truck from the city.
Oh, that'll take hours.
George knew Blaze couldn't wait for hours.
Okay, it's set up. Come on, Blaze.
That's well done, George. And so, the winner of this year's Fireman's Muster is the Town Volunteers.
What?
You get extra points for a real rescue. It's in the rules.
Here you go.
A muster tests who's best prepared for an emergency. And today, that was you.
We only brought a truck and a ladder. You brought the monkey.
Well, Neptune's knickers. Well, thank y'all. And thank you, George.